Hey guys, what's going on? It's Roth and Joshua here to talk about book 4 of Korra, the last one.
The
so
last
sad.
one.
We're really gonna full spoilers for book 4, everything up to date. But what we really want to talk about is Kuvira, who is this season's villain, and sort of how she compares to the previous villains on Korra. What do you think so far?
I think she's my favorite of the bunch so far. I mean, obviously we haven't seen the end yet, but she's got a lot going for her. She's a very like real world threat. You know, she's like a military dictator, and we have those in our world, which is crazy for Korra to be confronted with that. And I don't want to say like I agree with her methods, but her reasoning and you know, it's all about, I feel like, Kuvira's ego and like her wanting to be the one who like, you know, brings everyone together and unites them under her, the great uniter. Exactly. But she actually has, of all the villains, she seems the most actually rational, even though she's crazy.
You know, it's funny because to me, actually, I think she's great in the sense that she's a good match for Korra, which is why I think they chose her. You know, she's about Korra's age. They're very similar.
They're both female villains. They're both females, I should say. Korra's not a villain.
But yeah, and I think that's one of the reasons they chose her, because Korra's in this battle with herself this season, as we've seen. Like, she even has the dark avatar that she saw in Kuvira's face, which I thought was so great, that last episode.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, she's like the darker side of herself to some degree, but also Kuvira has something that Korra desperately needs right now, and that's self-confidence.
Exactly.
Now, she takes it to a psychotic level, obviously.
Yeah, and I think we were talking about this earlier, but you know, why in the world would Kuvira go into a fight with the Avatar? Even knowing the Avatar has been like poisoned, injured, out of action for a while, she knows she can go into the Avatar state and like blow her away at any second. She did for a minute until she had her PTSD trigger.
Well, I mean, it's funny because I think that she is a good match for Korra, and I think that's one of the reasons that they chose her as a villain this season, in the sense of just like she's a good counter to Korra, right? Like they're both women, they're both strong, determined, they're physically strong. But like I said, I mean, what Kuvira has going for her right now, the one thing that she had going for her against Korra is her confidence, is her total 100%, 1000% belief in herself, belief that she will win, belief that she should win, because, and you brought this up, she thinks she's doing the right thing. She really does. And she's not, and her methods are crazy, but she thinks that she is absolutely right, almost to the point of like ordained doing the right thing.
For sure.
And Korra right now is shattered. You know, she's in a battle with herself. There's a good reflection too in that way. She even saw the dark avatar on Kuvira's face in that battle.
For a second, I thought Kuvira could go Avatar state. Then I was like, oh no, wait, she's got the Korra braids, and she's not.
But I think what she's seeing is herself in her, you know, but she's seeing not only a dark version of herself where she could, if Korra had wanted to be a dictator, she could have been long ago. She was the Avatar. She was the most powerful person on the earth, right? But she wasn't. But she's not only seeing like the dark version of herself, but she's seeing something that she needs. Korra doesn't believe in herself anymore.
Yes.
How many times over this season, over these 4 seasons, has she been told that she's irrelevant, that the world doesn't need her anymore?
Yes.
How much does she not? She doesn't even know what to do anymore. She's saying like, let me try diplomacy. The fighting hasn't worked. No, now I'm going to have to fight. She doesn't know what to do. She's so confused. And she's divorced herself from herself.
And I feel like,
if that makes any sense, she's split, you know?
Yes, and I feel like every villain she's come up against are doing things that the Avatar ought to do, but with obviously an extreme evil slant to it. Because the Avatar is there to bring balance to the world, and when you let monarchies take over, Korra wasn't going to step in and stop that fool of a king, you know, from taking over. You know, Kuvira had to step up with her like military force to do that. But you know, you'd think that the Avatar should have something to do, and I feel like this is all sort of leading towards something of the Avatar as Korra will change the world in her way. You know what I mean?
I think so too. And it's really funny because I agree with you where I don't agree with Kuvira's methods at all. However, it's like, she's like, what, you're going to let this fool lead you? Why? Because he was born into a family? I do 100% agree. That's crazy. Like, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. What has he done at all for the people? What has he done to prove that he should be a leader at all? He should not be. He's an idiot. However, I will say this, and it's one of the things that we've brought up with the creators and interviews and things like that. every single one of these villains, and Toph, I was so excited by that scene. Toph brought up the point that we've been talking about the whole time. They're coming from some kind of egalitarian perspective, but they're out of balance. Their ego takes it way too far, so that their ideology becomes like fascistic. You know, they become like, they just become dictators and overcome by it. It becomes
and you
too
say
extreme.
balance, because that's the name of the season, the book, I should say. So yeah, that's a big thing of going in. How do you achieve balance in like this world? And Kuvira really is, you know, I really like Kuvira. Where does she rank like so far for you?
I mean, it's funny because I feel like everything's been building to this, where it was like, let's get rid of the benders because it's unfair. Let's have everybody be on equal footing was the first idea. And that was sort of out of balance. But there is something true to that too, that people should be on equal footing, right? And then it was like, well, why should we hold the spirits back? Like, why should you be the only link avatar to the spirits? Maybe that's not really, maybe everybody should have access to the spirits. And then the third thing was like, let's not have monarchies, let's not have a hierarchy at all, including the avatar, because she's at the top of it, like we've been saying. So I think that she's actually almost weirdly the culmination of all of them, except, you know, she's only about the Earth Kingdom. She only, Empire now. She only cares about that. She wants to sort of put anybody that isn't that into camps. So she's almost taken it so far that it comes around the other way, where she's like, only the Earth people matter, you know? Only the Earthbenders matter.
Yeah, although you imagine, we're approaching like the half season point.
Yeah.
So you got to wonder if, you know, once she has pretty much all of the Earth Empire. I mean, I don't know what happens next episode, but you'd imagine she has the Earth Empire. Where does she go from there? Do you think she'll stop at her nation's borders? I don't know. I don't think so.
I mean, I think that, yeah, she wouldn't. She would definitely keep going and say, I'm going to unite the whole world, and I'm so convinced that I know what's good for everybody, which you can't possibly know that. And I think that Korra's big lesson, one of the biggest lessons, is that to some degree, and obviously the answer is democracy at the end of the day, is that people must decide what's good for themselves. There should not be any one person that is there to decide that for them, not Kuvira, and not the Avatar either, but what she's there is to provide an opportunity for people to lead themselves, you know? And how she's gonna do that, I don't know. But I think it's interesting because nothing's worked so far, so she's gonna have to find a new way. And I think that the idea that she needs her whole team is one of the things that was introduced this past episode, and I think that's going to be one of the big lessons. It's not just about her, it's not just about any one person.
This is one heck of a children's cartoon.
What do you think the final outcome is going to be?
The final outcome? Goodness, I feel like she is going to beat Kuvira through democracy, bring democracy to the land, and give up being the Avatar. There'll be no more Avatar by the end of it.
I kind of have a feeling there may be no Avatar either. I know, and it's a little heartbreaking. But we wish good things for Korra. This is really an exciting season. I love it. Great villain, great storyline for her. She needs to reunite with her Avatar self.
Yeah, she needs her confidence.
She needs her groove back. Let us know what you guys think in the comments below. Are you loving the season? Do you like this villain? And where do you think it's going to finally end up? For all things Korra, there will be more things Korra. Keep it locked right here to IGN.